One of the hardest time for new parents is in the first few weeks after birth. So I'm Dr. Tracy Tyson. I'm a board certified general pediatrician for over 20 years and parent of two. And here's some reasons why your baby is crying so much. What does it mean and what are some things that you can do? First of all, remembering that crying is just a form of communication. It doesn't always mean something is wrong. So take a deep breath. Recognize they're communicating, they're letting you know what they need, and here's some steps you can take to determine what might they need and what might help with the crying. So first things and foremost, there is something that's called the 5 S's. This has been around a long time, and I still find it really helpful to walk parents through why their child might be crying and what can they do. The first S is sucking. So are they hungry? So offering the breast, offering a bottle, seeing if that's what the child needs is always the first place to start. If they don't seem hungry, they're not nursing, they don't want to take a bottle, or it's not time for it, you can try a pacifier. So I know people have controversial takes on this, but pacifiers do help with a basic need that babies have, which is to suck and soothe themselves. So if they're not hungry, it is okay to use a pacifier. When people go wrong is when they offer a pacifier and miss a feeding cue for a baby. So if a baby's sucking on their hand, they're smacking their lips, they're really rooting and trying to find something to eat, and it's been more than an hour to an hour and a half, they could be hungry. So always address that first. But if they've been fed, they're still fussing, they won't settle down, you can offer a pacifier, your finger if you don't want to offer a pacifier, but sucking is the first S. The second one is swaddling. So babies are in something called the 4th trimester. So that first 12 weeks after they're born is another part of their development. And so they want to be super, super tight, and they have something called a Moro reflex, which is a startle reflex, where they do this all the time. And it can be uncomfortable for them, or at least startling for them. And so getting them really, really tight in a swaddle is a really good way to calm their nervous system and help them feel more soothed. So you can use something like a swaddling blanket. There is even really good ones now that just kind of Velcro around. Just make sure you're using something that is approved for safe babies. And not every swaddle is approved for safe sleep, so double check with your pediatrician. So the second S is swaddling. The third S is shushing. So babies actually don't like it to be super quiet. Sometimes we bring a newborn home and we're really quiet and we're walking around, and they don't like that. The baby has been inside mom for 10 months with a lot of noises, all the digestion, the heartbeat, hearing everything that was going on in the world around them. That is soothing for them. So white noise can be really helpful. The mother's heartbeat, sometimes just running the vacuum cleaner, making sure that it's not super quiet all the time, because babies actually don't like that. So that's the third S. The fourth S is swaying. So babies do like that movement. They like to kind of move around, and sometimes when they're really fussy and they're overstimulated, swaying them a little bit back and forth can be helpful. There's a reason infant swings were ever invented to begin with, because children like to be rocked back and forth. And the last one is what used to be called side lying. We don't recommend side lying anymore because of the increased risk of SIDS, but what they meant by this is passing gas. And when you lie on your left side, a lot of times you can pass gas easier. So this is when you would do something like, do they need to have a bowel movement? Do they need to pass gas? So things you can do is either a bicycle maneuver with the legs where you move them back and forth. You can use stimulation to help them go to have a bowel movement, such as using a thermometer or the little windies that can be really helpful. I've also seen some really great videos where people have the baby facing out but leaning up against them. They take the little legs and push them up to try to help stimulate like a squatty potty. That can sometimes also relieve gas. So when your baby is super fussy, walk through these steps, see if you can help figure out what might be going on. If fussiness is persisting for more than 2 to 3 hours and nothing you're doing is working, please reach out to someone and ask for help. There could be something more going on. But this is also a time to tap out. So if you have anyone else in your life that is helping you with your baby, sometimes it's us. Sometimes we are anxious, sometimes we are frustrated, we're overstimulated as well, and our babies are feeding off of that. So if you're noticing that your baby is getting increasingly fussy and you're going through all of those 5 S's and nothing is working, but the baby is otherwise well appearing, tap out. Ask somebody else to take over for a second. Take a deep breath, get a glass of water, take a shower. Maybe you need a nap. So remembering to meet your own needs, because so often our anxiety and exhaustion, our babies pick up on that. So I hope it helps. Remember that a crying baby is a breathing baby. So do not panic. If you have any questions, talk to your medical providers. Every primary care office is on call 24 hours a day, and they want you to call them with questions like this. We are available. We have nurses on the phone first line. Some places it's straight to the medical provider, but we are there to walk you through when is the crying concerning, when is it typical newborn crying, and to support you through this. So don't try to figure this out by yourself. Call us. That's what on-call services are for. I hope this helps. Take care.